I had 2 kids really close together. They're 22 months apart, and so I had my son, and then I didn't quite recover afterwards. I wasn't the same, and really struggled. And then I had my daughter, fairly quickly afterwards. And after I had my daughter, I didn't feel good. I just didn't feel well. And there was even, because it was summertime when I started with Emmie. And there was a time where I couldn't get out of a chair. It was like a lower chair to the ground, and I was just struggling to get out of it. And I thought, I'm 28 years old. This is ridiculous. Like, I should be running around having a good time and enjoying my life. And I was just miserable in everything. And I said enough is enough. And Emmie and I had recently connected again. And I just said, I'm doing it.
I would highly recommend Coach Emmie. That was my wife originally when she first met Coach Emmie. She went in for a consultation, I guess you would call it, and then she came back and told me, an X amount of money, and she goes, please, if you put this out there, I guarantee you this will be the best thing we ever invested in. And it was. I mean, like I said, it saved our marriage. It's 100%, and kids totally changed and all that. It changed their lives and so forth and so on. So yeah. Awesome. Definitely, I recommend this.
I just liked what she was about and her principles and just kind of, who wants to not diet anymore? Like, everybody wants to not diet anymore, but have, a healthy, body image and just feeling good about yourself. And so that just really is like, okay, I want that. I want to feel good about myself. I want to not worry about dieting. I just want to be, healthy.
Probably tried most everyone out there, and I'm successful for a short period of time because I white knuckled myself through it, or I reach the goal and then it's like, oh, I don't have to do this diet anymore and go back to whatever I did before, because I was eat this, exercise this way, and then you reach the goal and it stops.
Being coached to not consider dieting, to get out of a diet mentality. And as a person who likes rules and structures, it's a challenge to live in the middle instead of all right or all wrong when it comes to food.
Emmie has the ability to pull the emotional piece out, and at least for me, ask the question that makes me go, And I do find after a while that she sits right here and talks to me. Kind of have like the devil and the angel, but Emmie just kind of sits there and talks to me. I hear her voice, and it's not intrusive. And I think she caters her coaching style to what you need. I'm one that needs more structure, so therefore she tends to give me a little bit more structure and is more pointed with her questions. Whereas someone else, she's going to work with entirely differently. So she does cater or tweak her program to fit the individual.
I don't know, it's hard for me. I don't know if I feel like there's a lot of women out there that do struggle with emotional eating, and I feel like if that is what it is, then you gotta get to the root of the problem, and just going on another diet is not gonna help cure, because you're just gonna go back off of it. It has to be a lifestyle change, but in order to make a lifestyle change, you really do gotta find this inner sanctuary within yourself and find happiness to want to be happy.
Well, in addition to the excitement of reducing the A1C and getting off of medication, one of the byproducts was I released 38 pounds. Now I backslid a little, add a little back on, but in my sessions with Emmie, we've gotten around the root of some other issues, some emotional issues, and I'm now back down to almost to my lowest weight again. The doctors are ecstatic. My doctor, the one that just retired, was like, what have you been doing? So I shared a lot of this with him. I even described the fit test for him and gave him the information to research it for himself. And when I next saw him just before he retired, he had lost 48 pounds. And he hasn't even been going to Emmie, but just following the fit test and the selections of food based on that.
I am Emmie Perez, and I'm the CEO of Blissfully Healthy Women's Wellness Center, specializing in emotional eating coaching. Emotional eating coaching is definitely not health coaching, and it's not weight loss coaching. It's really focused on looking at the emotional side and the mindset side of food. And so it's really more about emotions and emotional wellness than anything. So we talk about getting out of the diet mentality, getting off the roller coaster of yo-yo dieting, and learning new emotional coping tools so that we are no longer obsessed about food and weight, and just really recapture a sense of happiness in life. And then from a side effect of that is absolutely many times does happen with weight loss. If you've been on diet after diet after diet, we've got to do something different, because what we've been looking at hasn't worked. So it's time to try something different. And diets won't have all 5 puzzle pieces. It's just something that I've created years ago, and I always come back to and see in clients who are doing so well and feeling freedom around food and weight, and then those that are just coming in or struggling. It's which of the 5 puzzle pieces is not in place. And so we need to have all 5 of those puzzle pieces to really have an ultimate solution. And that sometimes means taking a look at some of the old hurts that haven't been healed, the limiting beliefs, looking at how do I feel about myself, and if we're being judgmental of ourselves and hating ourselves and beating ourselves up and having that inner mean girl, the self-loathing, judgment about our body, judgment about ourselves and what we eat, we can't heal emotional eating. We must develop self-compassion to get to that place of freedom, because that is where it all starts. We can't heal if we don't have self-compassion. So I would say a lot of the diets out there, they really encourage you to be perfect. And we don't have those emotional coping tools and the mindset tools to let go of the perfectionism. So I would definitely say the 5 puzzle pieces, and letting go of the self-judgment and developing and cultivating self-compassion.